The warmth of the air today speaks that today is the day for the souls to commemorate the cause and inception of something good. A very hearty welcome to all the dignitaries, the Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir Dr. Bidyut Chandan Dekka, Sri Konthang Tothang Joint Secretary, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, Government of India, New Delhi, Dr. Subal Mai Bangsa, Principal Scientist and Head, KPK Kabe Anglong, Assam Agriculture University, Dr. Nitya Ranjan Dole, Joint Secretary, Kalyan Ashram Assam, Dr. Bandita Terongpi, Assistant Professor, Dr. Pol Science Lumbing College, Sri Kedar Kulkarni Sir, Keter Coordinator, Heritage Foundation, Sri Montaram Karam Sir, Sa Sangathang Mantri, Kalyan Ashram, Assam, Respected Registrar, Dean, College of Agriculture, Associate Dean, College of Horticulture, Director of PG Studies, Director of Social Welfare, Associate Director of Research, Chief Librarian, and Head of the departments, along with it, and the esteemed gathering. I welcome you all to this auspicious occasion where we reminisce all the struggles and sacrifices made by our tribal heroes to free India from the ordeals of the British Empire. The tribal society of India has always been an integral part of Indian civilization and culture with its spiritual traditions, unique customs, and the high virtues of life. Be it the Paharia movement led by Tilka Manji, the rebellion of the Koya tribe, the armed struggle of Kol tribe, and all the other contributions and sacrifices, they have been rich in tradition and also valor and patriotism and has shown rebelliousness of the tribal society against the British. It is now our sole duty to realize and revisit their contributions and also to pledge and play an important part of protecting and promoting a nation which is safe and sound. With this, I wish to proceed with our event of today, and hence I welcome once again our esteemed gathering and all our dignitaries in today's auspicious event of commemorating the tribal heroes in India's freedom movement on behalf of Assam Agriculture University and NCST. Now, I wish to request one and all assembled here today to kindly stand up from their seats as we wish to start the Jatiya Sangeet. Thank you, esteemed gathering. Now, I wish to proceed and I would like to announce the auspicious lamp lighting ceremony as a tribute to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. Hence, I'd like to request all the dignitaries to grace the occasion by lighting the lamp.
জলদি জলদি এটাই লিখব ফেলিসিটেশন পার্সেন্টেজ হবে সাউন্ড আসুন সিট
Thank thank you, dignitaries. Please to take your seat. Now, as a token of bountiful admiration and respect, we wish to initiate the felicitation ceremony. I would be pleased to request Dr. Robin Chandabaro sir for a warm felicitation to our honorable guest of today's event, our Vice Chancellor, Assam Agricultural University, Dr. Bidyut Chandandeka sir. Now, I request a warm felicitation for our esteemed guest, Sri Konthan Tuntang sir. At next, we have Dr. Subhan Malivangsa sir, Principal Scientist and Head KVK Center, Kabe Angla Assam Agricultural University. Now, I'd like to request one warm felicitation for guest Niti Ranjan Dole sir. Then, at next, we have our another esteemed guest, Bandita Terompi Madam. And then the felicitation and warm regards are extended towards our other guest, Kedar Arvind Kulharni sir. He is the Prachar and Prasar Pramukh Akhil Bharatiya Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram, Northeastern Region, coordinator of Northeastern Region NCST, and has also been a part of university program on contribution of tribal freedom fighters in freedom struggle. Thank you, sir. Next, we have Mantaram Koram sir, who is currently the assistant organizer of Kalyan Ashram, Assam, and also the Sanyojak of Janajati Dharm Sanskriti Suraksha Manch, Assam. He has been the Pracharak RSS since 1998 in different districts of Assam and is also a political science postgraduate from Ravi Shankar Shukla University, Raipur, Chhattisgarh. Thank you, esteemed guest, for your presence today. Now, I would like to proceed with our event and would like to request our honorable guest, Sriniti Ranjan Dole sir, to deliver a welcome address to our esteemed gathering in view of today's occasion.
Good morning. Namaskar. মঞ্চত আজি এই পবিত্ৰখনত উপস্থিত থকা সন্মানীয় অসম কৃষি বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ৰ ভাইচ চেঞ্চেলৰ ডক্টৰ বিদ্যুৎ চন্দ্ৰ ডেকা ছাৰ, মঞ্চত উপবিষ্ট NCSTৰ জইণ্ট ছেক্ৰেটাৰী খংটাং ছাৰ আৰু মঞ্চত উপবিষ্ট আমাৰ সন্মানীয় আমন্ত্ৰিত ডক্টৰ সুবাৰ মাইবং ছাৰ আৰু মোৰ বান্ধৱী মঞ্চত উপবিষ্ট ডক্টৰ বন্দিতা পেৰংপী, আমি সঁচাকৈ আজি বহুত গৌৰৱৰ বিষয় আপোনালোকৰ এই পবিত্ৰ ইউনিভাৰ্চিটিত আমি আজি আমাৰ স্বাধীনতা সংগ্ৰামত কিছুমান আমাৰ এনেকুৱা আমাৰ হিৰো আছিলে যাক আমি আমাৰ ভাৰতবৰ্ষৰ মানে ইতিহাসত আমি চিনি পোৱা নাছিলোঁ। আজি এই চিনি নোপোৱা আমাৰ হিৰোবিলাকক আজি আমি সঁচাকৈ আমি তেখেতসকলক আমি এই মঞ্চৰ থ্ৰুৱেদি আমি জানিব পাৰি বহুত সঁচাকৈ আমি আনন্দিত হৈছোঁ আৰু আপোনালোকে সেই সুবিধাখন দিয়াৰ কাৰণে কল্যাণ আশ্ৰম পৰিয়ালৰ তৰফৰ পৰা আৰু নেশ্যনেল কমিশ্যন ফৰ ST তৰফৰ পৰা আমি আপোনালোকক আমি ধন্যবাদ জ্ঞাপন কৰিছোঁ। আৰু সেই অনুষ্ঠানটি সেইটো কাৰণে আমি গোটেই ভাৰতবৰ্ষতে আমি পতাৰ সিদ্ধান্ত কৰিছিলোঁ, কাৰণ আমাৰ আপোনালোকে জানেই আমাৰ আচল হিৰোবিলাকে ইমান কষ্ট কৰি আমাৰ স্বাধীনতা সংগ্ৰামটো আগুৱাই নিছিল। আমি অকল কেইটামান হিৰোকে চিনি পাওঁ, যেনেকৈ আমি জৱাহৰলাল নেহেৰু, আমি মহাত্মা গান্ধী। তাৰে আগতে কষ্ট কৰিছিল এইসকল মানুহবিলাকে। যেতিয়া ব্ৰিটিছসকলে আহি আমাৰ দেশখনত যেতিয়া অত্যাচাৰ আৰম্ভ কৰিছিল, তেতিয়া আমি আমাৰ সেই পৰম শ্ৰদ্ধাৰ ব্যক্তিসকলে আজি ইমান কষ্ট কৰি আমাক আগুৱাই লৈ গৈছিলে। সেইটো উদ্দেশ্য লৈ NCST কমিশ্যনে আমাৰ সেই লুকাই থকা আৰু হিডেন হিৰোকেইটাক আমি চিনাক্ত কৰিবৰ কাৰণে এই অনুষ্ঠানটি গঢ় উঠিবৰ কাৰণে আমি বিভিন্ন ইউনিভাৰ্চিটিত সেইখিনি আয়োজন কৰা হৈছে। আৰু অকল অসমতে নহয়, ভাৰতবৰ্ষত প্ৰায় 125খন অধিক ইউনিভাৰ্চিটিত, যেনেকৈ মুম্বাই ইউনিভাৰ্চিটি, দিল্লী ইউনিভাৰ্চিটি, BHO আৰু বিভিন্ন ষ্টেটত যিমান ইউনিভাৰ্চিটি আছে আমি এই পাতাৰ উদ্দেশ্য আৰু আমি আয়োজন কৰা হৈছে। আমি সঁচাকৈ আজি বহুত ভাগ্যৱান বুলি ভাবিব লাগিব। আজি অসমত আমাৰ নৰ্থ ইষ্টত প্ৰথম এই অনুষ্ঠানটি কৃষি মহাবিশ্ববিদ্যালয়তে হৈছে। সেইটো কাৰণে DC ছাৰক আমি এবাৰ হাত চাপ কৰিলে আমি চবেই সম্ভাষণ জনালে ভাল। DC ছাৰে আজি আমাক প্ৰথম আমাক ফোন কৰি গোটেইখিনি সুবিধা আৰু গোটেইখিনি চলাই যাবৰ কাৰণে আমাক ইমান সুবিধা প্ৰদান কৰিছে। আৰু সকলো অকল DC ছাৰে নহয়, বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ৰ প্ৰতিজন আমাৰ প্ৰফেচাৰ্ছ, অফিচাৰ্ছ, ষ্টুডেণ্টছ গোটেইখিনি আমাৰ সহযোগিতাৰ কাৰণে আমি কল্যাণ আশ্ৰম পৰিয়াল তৰফৰ পৰা আৰু NCST ফালৰ পৰা আমি আপোনালোকক ধন্যবাদ জ্ঞাপন কৰিছোঁ। আৰু পৰৱৰ্তী অনুষ্ঠানত আমাৰ ৰিচোৰ্চ পাৰ্চনবিলাকে আছে, আপোনালোকক বিতংভাৱে বুজাই দিব। গতিকেলৈ ইমানতে মই আপোনালোকক পুনৰবাৰ এবাৰ আকৌ কল্যাণ আশ্ৰম পৰিয়াল তৰফৰ পৰা আৰু NCST ফালৰ পৰা আপোনালোকক ধন্যবাদ জ্ঞাপন কৰি আপোনালোকক মই সেই আকৌ এবাৰ ধন্যবাদ দি মোৰ সেই বক্তৃতাটো ইমানতে সামৰিছোঁ। জয় হিন্দ, ভাৰত মাতা কি জয়।
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening words. Now, I'd like to request our honorable guest, Dr. Subal Maibangsa, sir, to bestow upon us his valuable words and grace the gathering.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Bidut Chandan Deka, sir, respected uh, Joint Secretary of National Commission for Tribal Affairs, then my teachers, mentors, then respected uh, gathering on and off the dais, and my dear student friends. Well, I'm a little bit nervous because first thing is I'm not a good orator. Second thing, basically I my background is crop physiology, and suddenly a phone call came that I have to deliver lecture on the role of tribal leaders in Indian freedom movement. Well, I'm not a historian nor an orator, but since it is given this opportunity, so I must thank the organizers first of all, and I would like just to highlight the few like heroes which I like orally I have been hearing. So I just wanted to concentrate on those things only because it's not my cup of tea to deliver lecture on history. So please excuse me. So I'll go straight to my presentation. Well, Indian freedom struggle actually it started with 1857 with the uprising of the sepoys, the soldiers. That is the mutiny, and it lasted till 1947, right? But then our this freedom struggle story is full of brave hearts, but somehow the tribal freedom fighters were overlooked. And in fact, it's a very good step forward that we are giving emphasis on the unsung heroes from remote places like northern India. Well, next slide, please. Now, if we go to in Indian scenario, these are some of the tribal freedom fighters like Birsa Munda. I would not go in detail. Then Aluri Sitaram Raju from Andhra Pradesh, Rani Gaidlu. She was born in Manipur but belonged to Jiminaga. And Sidhu Murmu and Kanhu Murmu uh, from Santal community, then Tilka Majhi, then Govind Guru, next please, Tirot Singh again from our northern India. He is from Khasi Jantia Hills. Then Telanga Kharia, next please, Jatra Bhagat, Narayan Singh, etc. Now, when you come to northern India, the exotic truth, martyrdom does not end anything. It is only a beginning. Like exotic truth finds full reflection in the roles played by the people of North India in the Indian freedom struggle. Okay, now deep buried in oblivion, the tales of fortitude and indomitable spirit will be able to mesmerize posterity with inspiration only when the teeming millions in the rest parts of India are aware about the sacrifices of these uh, tribal leaders who had fought the Britishers to lead India. And I must appreciate the recent government initiatives who have recently recognized, I'm not so sure, but 10 unsung heroes from northeastern India. Next, please. Now, these are the legends from North India. I'm not segregating whether it is they're tribal or non-tribal. I'll come to specific in later part. So Bhogeshwari Pukonni, she was killed by the British. Then U Tiot Singh, he was from Khasi Hills, and he fought very valiantly to ward off the Britishers from Khasi Hills. Then Survir Pasalta Khongsera, he's a Mizo freedom fighter. Next please. Then Rani Kaidinu, I have already mentioned about her. Then Konoklata Barua, Moze Riva, he's from Arunachal Pradesh. Then Kusal Kumar, Gopinath Bordoloi, Matmur Zamo again, he's from Arunachal Pradesh. Then Sambudan Thonglo, from my native place, it is MC Hills, not Kasai Hills, but district. Now, I'll come specific to my tribe. That's where I would like to concentrate. Now, in our society, we do not have any written history. It has been going on oral. Somehow, I don't know how we missed it, but we missed the written documents. But then, our oral history is very, very strong. Just on that day, to the organizer, I told him that I have a good friend in Guwahati University. He also belongs to Dimasa Kachari. He would have better explain to this August gathering. But anyway, I will try to elaborate a little bit. Now, Dimasa tribe, now it's concentrated in Dimahasau, now Dimahasau, the AC Hills, then Karbiang district, Nagaon district, then Barak Valley, then to some extent in Nagaland. So these are the concentration of Dimasa people. Now, when we see the history of Dimasa people as written by Gate or Bordoloi, then this one Bor Pujari, etc., then we find this, of course, this historical background, we find it. Now, these Dimasa people, they have been ruling the Brahmaputra Valley, in most part of the Brahmaputra Valley, before the arrival of the Ahoms. And during the arrival of Ahoms, Dimasas were very strong rulers of this particular part of country. Now, after Ahom came, then they had a war, and in the first place, in the first instance, Dimasas were able to defeat the Ahoms. But in the later part, the Ahoms became stronger, and the Dimasas had to leave their capital Dimapur and shifted to Maibang, and from Maibang, that Khaspur, etc. Now, this Dimasa kingdom, Dimasa Raja king ruled the kingdom till the death of last king, that is Raja Govinda Sundra. He was actually he was assassinated in the year 1830, and the British East India, they annexed the the area ruled by Govinda Chandra in the year 1832. But the hilly parts, hilly parts of the territory of Dimasa people, who was ruled by Tularam Senapati, was also annexed in the year 1854. After Tularam Senapati died in the year, I think, 1951. Yeah. Next, please. Yeah. Now, the genesis of the struggle, I mean, the freedom struggle with the British, when it in the Dimasa territory, I just would like to elaborate. The culmination of imperialistic gain or British pursuit for years were considered by the freedom-loving Dimasa as an act of treachery and injustice. Tularam Senapati, Tularam Senapati's territory, that is the subdivision, was enlarged with Nagaon district of Assam with headquarters at Aksalu. Aksalu is now in Nagaland. Later, with the creation of Naga Hills district, the territory of Tularam was divided and merged with some part with Nagaon district, some part with Khasi and Jontia district, and then some part were amalgamated with Nagaland district. Now, here comes the conflict, starting of the conflict. The people of the now Dimasa district, NC Hills, where most of the Dimasa people are concentrated, even now, till now, they became very infurious, first of all, with because their territory was divided into separate parts. So that was the beginning of conflict. And at the same time, the the people who are very they were very proud of their legendary heroes like Rangadau, Degadau, Demalu, Wairima, etc. They are our legendary heroes, heroines since the ruling days of Dimasa Kasaris. Next, please. Now, here comes the leader. The Dimasa people were longing to have a leader who can lead them and hide the Britishers. Then, very fortunately, Sambunan Phongla was born in the year 1850 in a tiny village, Longkhor. That is near to Maibang. After Maibang, when we proceed towards Haflong, it is between Jatinga and Maibang, Longkhor village. And he was the eldest son of Eprondau, Honglo, and Kasaindi. As per Dimasa oral description, Sambandhan was tall, handsome, well-built, with fair complexion, black eyes, and it seems he had a very big ear. Not normal ear, but he had a very big ear. So this is our oral belief. Since childhood, he had been restless and moved from village to village. Instead of living, then he came to a place called Samkhor. Samkhor, Samdikhor, same thing. The village is still there at the top of the hill. Usually, Dimasa people like to live in riverbank areas, but the Samkhor village is situated in a top area, top of the hill. So he went there and he got married to Nasadi. His wife's name was Nasadi. But instead of leading peaceful married life, he still continued going from village to village. Actually, he was very restless in the sense because he had the bad feeling about the British, because they had suppressed the tradition loving this Dimasa people. And he had been considered as Deu. Deu means the Bhagavan kind of thing. by the people of Dima Hasau during those days. Then he had been practicing warfare, social. Next, please. He observed that though Britishers had annexed their territory, but still he observed that the Britisher could not conquer the heart of the native people. So he took that advantage, that particular reason, and he organized the native people, and particularly the youngsters. He he organized the youngsters. He started training them how to fight with the British, etc. That's what he was doing at Maibang. Then when the Britishers they came to know about his activity, growing influence among the hill tribe, they have said that time the Britishers had their headquarters, subdivision headquarters at Gunjung, and the SDO from Gunjung, he had sent a police team to. I mean, like before that, he summoned the Samudra Kambla to explain why he was doing all this. He was summoned to Gunjung, but he defied. After that, the SDO sent a police force with 6 armed policemen to arrest Sambudhan from Maibang. When the police came, they didn't dare to arrest Sambudhan, but they have to went back. They have to go back without arresting Sambudhan Ponglo because they were afraid that 6 policemen will be overpowered by Sambudhan Ponglo's army. So they went back. At that time, Sambudhan Ponglo gave a clear warning to the Britishers that if you want to lead, never ever interfere in the life of the tribal people. So that was the message he given to the visiting police team. Then the Britishers in the higher ups, they are so infuriated that they have sent a force of army, but none of the force returned alive. But then after that, what they did, the Britishers, what they did, they had treacherously befriended. I mean, like they sent one lady to befriend Sambudhan's wife, and gather the information when Sambudhan is coming, when he's going, he gathered the information, and secretly that message was given to the British officer. The British officers one day they have surrounded Sambudhan Ponglo when he was visiting his wife, and there was a fight. Of course, he ran away. He tried to run away, but somehow one machete was thrown by a soldier, and it was hit him, and ultimately the Sambudhan Ponglo he succumbed to that injury. So there is the story, big story about Sambudhan. Now, this is already known. Another lady, Dimasa lady, who is less known than Sambudhan Ponglo. Her name was Sengyajik Joya Thausen. Senya means actually it's a commander in Dimasa word. Sengyajik, since she's a lady, so we put it Jik. Sengyajik. So now her story goes like this. She was also born in Dimasa, now present Dimasa, Ansel district, at the Jorai Bathari village. That is also near Maibang, on the way to Haflong. Now, she was born in the year, I think, 1900, no, yeah, 1925, 26 October, much later than Somdon Phonglo. Then, at the age of 19 years, the girl raised voices against the British Raj, organized revolutionary Dimasa army under leadership with Arjun Lankasa and Chotedao Kemprai. They were her deputies. And they had organized the tribal people in such a way that they could raise an army. And after she had been hearing about Subhash Chandra Bose and his fight against the Britishers, and she has offered solidarity to Rani Jhansi Regiment of Azad Hind Force. This Rani Jhansi Regiment of Azad Hind Force was purely ladies, ladies-based regiment, and they were raised to fight the Britishers. Now, she, along with her militia, she traveled to Kohima, marched to Kohima to join the that regiment. However, on the 7th April of 1944, they were attacked by British force at Hirem Kwai Range near Kohima. And there was a battle. In the battle, many Britishers were injured, but then, unfortunately, our heroine Joya Thausen also lost her life in that battle. Although she could not give much support because she was killed on the way to joining the Azad force, but still then we must appreciate and salute to such a brave lady of little known tribe called Dimasa. Thank you very much. I would like to conclude here. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening words and a valuable speech. Now, moving forward, we wish to put forward and unveil before you an informative video of NCST to appraise its contribution and its valuable benefaction.
अगस्त 1947 लंबे संघर्ष के बाद देश विदेशी बंधनों से स्वतंत्र हुआ। न सिर्फ लाल किले की प्राचीर पर, अपितु सुदूर वनों में भी तिरंगे को लोगों ने अपने हृदय में स्थान दिया। समूचे राष्ट्र के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर जनजाति समाज ने जो बलिदान दिया था, वो अंततः रंग लाया। स्वतंत्र राष्ट्र को संविधान सौंपने से पहले संविधान निर्माताओं ने यह सुनिश्चित किया कि स्वतंत्र भारत में समाज के सभी अंग अपना सर्वांगीण विकास करते हुए देश के विकास में सहयोगी हो सके।
हमारे देश के जनजाति समाज का एक गौरवशाली अतीत एवं समृद्ध सांस्कृतिक परंपरा है। 700 से अधिक जनजाति समुदाय और लगभग 11 करोड़ जनजाति समाज का प्राचीन काल से राष्ट्र की आध्यात्मिकता, ज्ञान परंपरा एवं रक्षा में प्रमुख भूमिका रही है। देश की स्वतंत्रता के पश्चात संविधान निर्माताओं ने जनजाति समाज की इन विशेषताओं को समझा और उसके अनुसार जनजातियों को विशेष अधिकार दिए गए।
संविधान निर्माताओं ने जनजाति समाज के लिए जो स्वप्न देखा था, उसका सही संदर्भों में साकार होना अभी बाकी था।
भारत की जनजाति समाज को संविधान में जो विशेष अधिकार दी गई, इतने वर्षों के में भी उसका परिणाम जिस आधार में आने का था वो नहीं आया। जैसे नौकरियों में आरक्षण का प्रावधान होते हुए भी पदों का रिक्त रहना, उच्च संस्थान में समाज का प्रतिनिधित्व नहीं रहना, जंगल का अधिकार होते हुए भी समाज को उसको अधिकार नहीं मिलना, और ये सारे स्कीम जो समाज के लिए बनाया गया है, उसी आधार में समाज को उसका लाभ नहीं मिलना, इसका कारण रहा जनजाति समाज को बारे में नीतियां बनाने वालों और इसको कार्यान्वयन करने वालों का ये जनजाति समाज का मूल स्वभाव का बारे में अनभिज्ञ रहना। इसलिए इसी दृष्टि से जनजाति समाज का स्वभाव और व्यवस्था का अनुकूल सेपरेट या अलग विचार करने का आवश्यक पड़ा।
जनजाति अधिकारों एवं विकास की जो यात्रा 1950 से प्रारंभ हुई, उसने 2003 में एक निर्णायक मोड़ दे लिया।
सरकार ने 2003 में संविधान में अमेंडमेंट करके आर्टिकल 338, जिसके अंदर शेड्यूल कास्ट और शेड्यूल ट्राइब कमीशन का प्रावधान था, दोनों के लिए अलग अलग कमीशन की व्यवस्था की और आर्टिकल 338A का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के अंदर इंसर्ट किया गया, जिसके लिए अनुसूचित जनजाति के लिए एक अलग से कमीशन बनाया गया। और इस आयोग के जो चेयरमैन थे उनको रैंक कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर का दिया गया, जो वाइस चेयरमैन हैं उनको मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट का रैंक दिया गया, और जो उसके सदस्य हैं उनको भारत सरकार के सचिव का रैंक दिया गया। इतने हाई लेवल का कमीशन बनाने का जो ध्येय था वो यही था कि संविधान में जिस तरह का प्रोटेक्शन हमारे संविधान निर्माताओं ने अनुसूचित जनजाति के लोगों के लिए प्रोविजन बनाया है, उसको इंप्लीमेंट करने के लिए अगर एक बॉडी को पावर नहीं दी जाएगी, अगर उसको एक हायर स्टेटस नहीं दिया जाएगा, तो जिस तरह का एक इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट होना चाहिए वो नहीं होगा। इसलिए जो उनको पावर भी दी गई, उनको सिविल कोर्ट की पावर दी गई कि जब वो किसी चीज को इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहा है, कमीशन का इंक्वायर कर रहा है, तो जो एक केस को इन्वेस्टिगेट करने के लिए, चाहे वो समन की हो, चाहे वो डॉक्यूमेंट एग्जामिन करने की हो, चाहे वो रिकॉर्ड समन करने की पावर हो, या किसी अधिकारी को बुलाने की पावर हो विटनेस लेने के लिए, वो पावर वही होनी चाहिए जो सिविल कोर्ट के पास है। इसके अलावा कमीशन को यह भी अधिकार दिया गया कि वो कमीशन जो है समय समय पर अपनी रिपोर्ट बना करके कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के हिसाब से क्या राज्य सरकारें, क्या केंद्र सरकार, क्या पीएसयू और दूसरे लोग जो इसके लिए कार्यरत हैं, क्या वो अपना कार्यरत इस तरीके से कर रहे हैं कि जो लोग हैं उनके अधिकारों का प्रोटेक्शन हो रहा है। और उसके लिए जो है हर वर्ष कमीशन अपनी रिपोर्ट प्रेसिडेंट को सबमिट करता है, और प्रेसिडेंट राष्ट्रपति जो है उस रिपोर्ट को पार्लियामेंट के सामने रखते हैं कि कौन कौन से रिकमेंडेशन कमीशन की एक्सेप्ट हुए हैं और कौन कौन से रिकमेंडेशन सरकार ने एक्सेप्ट किए।
संविधान निर्माताओं के स्वप्न को तेजी से पूरा करने के लिए एक सशक्त आयोग के गठन ने शासन की मंशा को तो स्पष्ट कर दिया, लेकिन इस दिशा में कुछ और कदम चलना बाकी है।
नेशनल कमीशन फॉर शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब एक बहुत ही सशक्त और शक्तिशाली कमीशन है, पर देश का दुर्भाग्य ये है कि हम में से ज्यादातर लोगों को इसकी शक्तियों के बारे में शायद पता ही नहीं है, या फिर हमने कभी भी इसके बारे में जानने की कोशिश ही नहीं करी। अगर आप नेशनल कमीशन फॉर शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब की बात करेंगे तो इसकी एक खास बात यह है कि ये एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडी है, न कि एक स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडी। और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडी में भी इसका जो प्रमुख उद्देश्य है वो ये है कि जनजातियों के अधिकारों का हर तरीके से संरक्षण करना, चाहे वो उनके कल्चरल राइट्स हो, चाहे वो जमीन से जुड़े हुए उनके राइट्स हो, या फिर संविधान या दूसरे स्टैट्यूट में उनको जिस तरीके के भी राइट दिए गए हैं उसको कैसे जनजातियों तक पहुंचाया जाए और उनके सोशल और इकोनॉमिक एलिवेशन के लिए किस तरीके के सजेशंस दिए जाएं, ये सारे के सारे काम इस नेशनल कमीशन फॉर शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब के हैं। ये कमीशन अपना काम अच्छे तरीके से कर सके, इसके लिए इसके एक्ट में ही इसको असीमित पावर दी गई है। लेकिन चाहे वो ब्यूरोक्रेट्स हो, चाहे वो जुडिशरी से जुड़े लोग हों, चाहे एकेडमिया से जुड़े हुए लोग हों, चाहे लॉ मेकर्स हों, या चाहे जन सामान्य हो, क्या आज हम ये कह सकते हैं कि उनको इस कमीशन की शक्तियों के बारे में सही सही अंदाजा है?
राष्ट्रीय अनुसूचित जनजाति आयोग जनजाति समाज के बारे में संविधान निर्माताओं की दृष्टि को भली भांति समझता है। आयोग इस लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति के लिए विभिन्न आयामों पर तेजी से और प्रभावी ढंग से कार्य कर रहा है। जनजाति समाज के अधिकारों की रक्षा और उनके लिए बनी विकास की योजनाओं के निरीक्षण के संविधान प्रदत्त दायित्व के प्रति आयोग कटिबद्ध है।
आज भारत का जनजाति समाज बड़े गर्व के साथ कह सकता है कि उसकी अस्मिता, अस्तित्व और विकास के लिए जो प्रावधान भारत के संविधान में है वे दुनिया के किसी देश में नहीं है। हम आह्वान करते हैं देश के नीति नियंताओं से, नीतियों का क्रियान्वयन करने वाली संस्थाओं से एवं स्वयं जनजाति समाज से कि वे आगे आकर और एकजुट होकर जनजाति समाज की अस्मिता, अस्तित्व और विकास के लिए कार्य करें, ताकि जनजाति समाज अपनी संस्कृति की रक्षा करते हुए, अपने अधिकारों का उपयोग करते हुए स्वयं विकास की ओर अग्रसर हो और देश के विकास में भी अपना योगदान दे सके।
आइए जनजाति समाज को लेकर संविधान निर्माताओं द्वारा देखे गए स्वप्न को शीघ्रता से साकार करें। जनजातियों की अस्मिता, अस्तित्व और विकास की इस यात्रा को अपने गंतव्य तक पहुंचाने में अपनी भूमिका सुनिश्चित करें।
Now, I would like to request our esteemed guest, Sri Konthan Tothang Sir, Joint Secretary, NCST, to address the audience.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Bidyutji Dekha, Dr. Subal Mabonsha, and Dr. Bandita Taranpi, and then Sri Niti Ranjan Doleji, Kulkarni ji hai, Kumanji, and then registers and all the heads of department, faculty members, and dear students. I, on behalf of National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, extend greetings to all of you. I'm here to just give you a brief introduction about NCST. Besides the film, from the film and then from the exhibition, you have already understand about the status of this particular commission. So what does the commission do, and then what are its powers, and what are its duties? Besides that brief film, I thought let me just talk about that so that the students or the faculties or whoever belong to scheduled tribes, in case of any violation of any constitutional rights, discrimination in service or anywhere, this is a constitutional body which is available that you can reach and then expect redressal of your grievance. As already given in the film, it's a constitutional body set up under Article 338A. The chairperson, who is of Union Cabinet Minister rank, and then the vice chairman having the status of Union Minister of State, and then three members are there who are given the status of Secretary to Government of India. Commission has a secretariat that's headquartered in Delhi, which is headed as of now by a senior IAS officer. I am their joint secretary. We have directors, we have deputy directors, and then assistant directors and research officers and others. We have 6 regional offices all over India. Those are in Jaipur. One is in Shillong. Shillong covers the whole northeast states, including Sikkim. Then Bhopal, Raipur, Ranchi, and then Bhubaneswar. Insofar as the duties of the commission is concerned, I think after the meeting or anytime when you are free, you can always check Article 338A of the Constitution. According to Clause 5 of the particular Article 338A, the duty of the Commission is to investigate and monitor all matters relating to the safeguard provided for the scheduled tribes under the Constitution. So it could be there is, let's say, in service matter, violation of reservation or something, or it could be land-related matters, or just by being an ST, you could be a victim of administration or any other. In that case, you can always come approach the ST Commission. Then the Commission is to inquire into specific complaints relating to deprivation of scheduled tribes of their rights and safeguards, okay, and also to participate in and advise on the planning process of socio-economic development of the scheduled tribes and evaluate the progress of their development under the union or and any state. In the course of which let's say inquiry, monitoring, review, all the findings are incorporated in the annual reports of the commission, which is submitted to the President of India as provided in the Constitution. So this commission recommendations are to be placed in both houses of parliament, along with the action taken report. And another important functions of the commission is that insofar as policy issues are concerned, the state government or the central government, if they have to come up with anything that is going to affect the tribals, it could be land issue, it could be or any issue relating to tribals. As per clause 9 of Article 328A, it's mandatory that they consult the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. So this helps the commission to keep an eye on all policy decisions, because the commission is for the interest of the scheduled tribes. There could be policies which are, let's say, which the tribals of a particular area are not aware, but they are going to be adversely affected. But in that case, if the commissions are consulted in time, as per clause 9 of Article 328, then commission take note of it through discussion. Normally gives its recommendations. And to talk about other activities, in clause 5C, we were talking about the advisory role of the commission. Participate in and advise on the planning process of socio-economic development of scheduled tribes and evaluate the progress of. In this case, what the commission does, as of now, at present, we have the honorable chairman and then a member, but the commission is composed of 5 members. What happened is, in order to give a valuable input, commission collects information. Maybe it could be had done series of consultation that we call it samvad, national conference. It's a dialogue where all stakeholders from different walks of life, who are field practitioners, policy makers, and experts in the field, were invited. In Delhi, 4 samvads have been already held, and the topics covered were conversions of livelihoods in Janjati villages, then Forest Rights Act, then PESHA, then financial inclusion, tribal health system, and then education, in particular on new education policy 2020. So through that consultation, the commission captured what are the kind of issues raised and then come up with the kind of recommendations. So the reports are available, and these reports will be reflected in the annual report when it is prepared. Then the commission also carry out review meeting with state governments and even go to the districts also. When they go, when the commission is in the states to review the state, it looks into so many issues, socio-economic development programs, whether the fund that has been disbursed by various ministries are actually implemented in the states or not, and also regarding reservations, the status of reservation, and other issues like land or forest related issues and all. So in districts, when it goes to the districts, normally it picks up district specific issues, and on conclusion of the visit, the review meeting, normally it comes up with certain recommendations. Those are sent to the state government or district administration for taking further necessary action. Not just that, the commission normally give 1 month's time to respond along with action taken report. Then the commission also takes up review of public sector undertakings. It could be banks, it could be other industries and all, regarding reservation issues and all. And in particular, last year, the commission had consultative meeting with CMDs of PSUs with reference to their intervention engagement through corporate social responsibility. And also as a part of its constitutional mandate, as I told you, in order to give a valuable advice, the commission has to come up with a concrete data. For that, the commission either by itself or through other expert agencies takes up research studies and evaluation study. So the commission doesn't just rely on what research studies is available, what data is available. It does by its own, and then all these findings are normally reflected in the annual report. Those are the activities. And finally, I thought let me just also give you a brief about these grievances, redressal of grievances by the commission. As I told you, there are various types of grievances for those students or for faculties, and then for those in government services. It could be for students, it could be admission related or course related and all. But for faculties and other government, who are in government service, it would be service related. But there are also other like land related matters. And as I told you, just by being an ST, you become a victim. To come to the commission, you have to register your complaint, lodge your complaint, which should be addressed to either the chairperson, the vice chairperson, or the members. There are three different ways of reaching the commission. In 2020 December, we have launched online portal. We call it ncstgrams.gov.in. You have your mobile now, you can always log in there. There, you can just lodge any complaint, but that any complaint in the sense that there is violation of safeguards, there is discrimination, something relating to particular authority. So you just want to read the report to the commission saying that I have felt this kind of injustice. So directly filing through NCST-GRAM is one. Advantage is that if your complaint is registered, then a diary number is generated, and through that diary number, that will be acknowledged to your mobile. So you can track your grievances, the status of that. Otherwise, you can send email to the commission, or you can even send also hard copies to the commission. That is how to reach the commission. Once these grievances come, then commission has its own procedure as given in the constitution. The commission is supposed to have its own procedures. So accordingly, ROP we call it, rules of procedure, have been formulated by the commission, and that was revised last year and then further amended this year also. So as per that, in case your case, if your grievance is sub judice matter or a case where the court has already decided, then the commission will not take any action. Or if it is not addressed to the commission, as I say, or just a letter is addressed to a particular authority and endorsed to the commission, in that case also the commission doesn't take any action. It has to be, as I told you, addressed to the commission. And advantage of reaching the commission is that, for your grievance for citizens, we normally go to court. In case of service matter, we have central administrative tribunals, benches are all over India. But here, you don't have to go to court. You don't have to, ask for any permission from your controlling authority. You can just directly reach the commission either through email or, as I say, online. It's not like court, but then, as given in the introduction, while inquiring cases, the commission has the power of civil court. in summoning and others. So it's very, it depends on the cases, but then it's a forum where your grievance can be redressed as soon as possible, provided that all the informations are available. So that's an advantage of having, your case being raised in the complaint to the commission. So I think, in brief, those are the kind of functions and then activities of commission which I thought I'll just highlight. Later on, if anyone wants to get more information also, during the exhibition also, some displays are there. How to reach the commissions, I've already told you. There are emails and phone numbers also given. I'm happy that today being the first, program in the Northeast, there are other series of programs in other universities also. I would encourage all students and in particular those belonging from the scheduled tribes to go beyond your academics so that in this 75 years of independence, we the tribals, we don't just document our history, but then we come forward in particular from the Northeast, see how we can contribute to the rest of India. 75 years we have been, so dependent. I think it's time we give back. So the students, the faculties, everyone, I think it's time we stand up together. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your informative and interesting talk. Now, may I request our esteemed guest, Dr. Bandita Tirumpi Madam, Assistant Professor, Department of Political Science, Lumling College, to throw some light on the tribal society of northeastern part of India. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Vidyut C. Teka, then Sir Kong Thang, Tau Thang, Joint Secretary, NCST, Government of India, Dr. Subal Maibongsa, Sir, Sri Niti Ranjan Dole, Registrar, Sir, Dean, Sir, Heads of the Department, faculty members, students, a very good, I think it's still morning, good morning. Kardom, Juthai, Kolumbai, Seva, Salman, Johar, Gopai. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer, that is the hosting institution, Assam Agriculture University and NCST Government of India, for inviting me to share or deliver my research work. So I have been invited to speak on the unsung tribal heroes during the freedom movement. So as the picture itself says, who are they? We can identify very easily in an instant. But if I say, do we know them all? I would probably find answer that some yes, some no. So yes, let us start with Rani Gaidinlu. As Sir has already told about her, but then also I will just read out the lines, what she said. She said that we are free people, the white man should not rule over us. This is the 13 years girl, Rani Gaidinlu, who was speaking this type of sentence during that time in 1927. Same year, she joined the Hareka religion reform movement begun by her cousin Hypo Zadonang to save the
Naga traditional belief system against the growing influence of Christianity and Vaishnavism. She was arrested at the age of 16 and she achieved actually life imprisonment. Then Jawaharlal Nehru honored her the title of Rani when he met her at Shillong jail in 1937. Next is again a Naga spiritual social reformist living in the tri-junction of Assam, Manipur and Nagaland. Apart from the Heraka movement with his cousin sister Rani Gaidinglu, he built his own army Rifen against the British. However, by 1931, he got arrested and hanged at the age of 26. Let us know about Bir Kidendranath Singh. He is a Manipuri freedom fighter who refused to be ruled by the British India, which led to the Anglo-Manipuri War in 1891. But being too mighty, the British occupied Manipur and Prince Ketendranath was publicly hanged in 1891, that is 13th of August. Next, we have another Manipuri freedom fighter, that is the Pwana Brajabasi, and he also greatly displayed his heroism in the Anglo-Manipuri War in 1895, and he even refused a choice to leave to serve the British. Instead, he preferred to die free. We have another tribal freedom fighter, that is Yu Tirot Singh Shemle. He is a Khasi chief of the Nongklo who led the Anglo-Khasi War in 1823 to 33. For 4 years, he could resist the British rule. But he could even kill 2 Britishers. But being betrayed by his own men, he got captured and he died in 1835. If we talk about Meghalaya, it would be just injustice if I don't talk about Jaintia or the Garo freedom fighter. So next we have the Yu Kyang Namba. He is a Jaintia freedom fighter in 1860s who refused to pay house tax. He refused in the sense because how he will be paying his own tax for his own house against the white man. So he attacked the British police station. Another we have the Garo freedom fighter. He is the Pa Togang Sangma. He also attacked the British camp and in his native hills, but he was shot dead. This is another freedom fighter, Moje Riba, born in the last decade of the 19th century in Arunachal Pradesh. Moje Riba joined the Indian National Congress along with the Gopinath Bordoloi and became the first INC president from Arunachal Pradesh. He has been also found that he has been taking through all the Gandhiji's movement that has starting from the non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, and Quit India movement too. Yes, sir has already told about Veer Sambhudan Phanglo. He is a Dimasa freedom fighter in 1860s who created trouble and showed rebellion against the British. We have another lady warrior who is the Sengyajik Joya Thausen. She has showed her great, we can say she is the Rani Jhansi of the Northeast because she also joined the Rani Jhansi regiment of Azad Hind Force, and she had a courage to show her bravery for achieving freedom for the community or for the India against the British rule. Yes, another from Mizoram, we have the Pu Darthoma, who is a freedom fighter, and he has been honored as the Tamrapatra Awadi, as he has been serving in the Indian Army during the World War II. He was even made prisoner after war. After release, he joined the Azad Hind Force and fought against British. Again, he was put behind bars and again released in 1945. He passed at the age of 19 recently in 2019. Yes. Now let us talk about the Karbi community. It is very strange that till now we do not have a Karbi freedom fighter written in any history book or in any research work that has been searched. If you search in a Google, you will never find one. But I got an opportunity when my teacher, Subhajit sir, called me in 2021 during the Corona vacation. You can say it's not a vacation, but then also, yes, he told me that please present a paper. You search a person from your Karbi community who has contributed for freedom struggle. Then I asked my mentor, who is Dr. Dharam Singh Teron. He is a very famous writer and he is a director of Karbi Center of Studies. Then I asked him, even he also denied his knowledge regarding Karbi freedom fighter. We could only know Samson Singh Inti, who was the founder of Karbi Anglong district. But then I searched in Google in various books, various archives and all. I only got one sentence written in one book by Bhattacharjee, A. Bhattacharjee, uh, Assam's role in Indian independence. There he had written about a Mikir who called himself Hanuman after meeting Gandhiji and he depicted Gandhiji as Rama and he told Gandhi that I am your Hanuman, you are my Rama and together we will chase away Ravana, that is the British. With that single sentence, it struck in my mind that how a Karbi community which is living in and around Nagaon district, Golaghat district, and Nongpo district, where there is a hub of movement for freedom struggle, and how a single Karbi could not participate in that, how a community get aloof in living in such a turmoil of freedom movement. So I started to search that particular Hanuman Mikir. So in my search, I found this is the grandson actually. This is not the original person because it is impossible to find also. But I think he will resemble. He will resemble him, yes, because it is a grandson. So, yes. So, through him, through my search, I found a village in Dethor, that is Karbi Anglong, a village named as Volunteer Arong, that is Volunteer Village. It is a very strange name because how, whereas all the villages are named in a Karbi, how can this English name be fitted in a village called Volunteer? Then I wondered why it is. Then I started. Then the answer that Hanuman I found there that yes, the village was named after that particular Hanuman person. I'll name it because he volunteered Gandhiji during the non-cooperation movement in 1920s. That's why that village only was named after that particular person. So here is what is in my slide. So Gandhi's visit to Assam had a galvanizing impact of Assam, and in as much as the people of Assam by then became the non-cooperation minded. A man from Mikir Karbi community expressed that when he first saw Gandhi at Guwahati, he thought Rama had arrived and that he wanted to follow Mahatma as Hanuman and shall follow Rama in his fight against Ravana, that is British. The only source that is, I already told, it is from the Bhattacharjee book, Assam in Indian Independence. Then that Hanuman is actually Sarbura Teron, commonly known as Volunteer Teron. His name again has been become Volunteer Teron, and the village became Volunteer Village or Volunteer Arong of Greater Dater area. He also accompanied his friend Kekai Bura, who is an Assamese, of Murfuruni near Chokihola and Kania Timung of Chokihola on foot, and they took one big march to Guwahati in 1924 to participate in a meeting visited by Gandhiji himself. The man became known as volunteer and his village too known as the volunteer Arong. His grandson, Lonki Togbi in the photo, narrated the memories of his grandfather who made Gandhiji as a Congress volunteer to take part in non-cooperation movement. It was during the time that these words were expressed out of happiness and respect. In that meeting, Gandhiji taught the volunteers the use of chakra, spinning wheel and spindle. The items were also distributed along with cotton seeds. On the return journey, unlike other volunteers, Sarbara too distributed cotton seeds and encouraged people the use of spinning wheel. Once the British raided his village for arrest, though Sarbura escaped, but Kanya was taken into jail. Years after Kanya, as he was in jail, he was awarded pension, whereas Sarbura never received any official recognition. This is another freedom fighter, we can say, Mr. Nathan Lekte, who is commonly known as Nandeswar. So Mr. Nathan was a soldier of Assam Regiment. He was involved in World War II. He also met Bapuji, that is M.K. Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi during his posting in Lahore. He was also posted in Afghanistan, and he told us in an interview, he's still living, he told us in an interview that he, during the partition in 1947 also, he greatly helped the Indians, that is the Muslim Indians, to go to Pakistan and also bring the Hindu Indians to India. So he played a very important role. He helped them. He told us like that. So there are another in the list like Sir Anjok Tokbi, who volunteered in Quit India movement in 1942. So now these names are in the form of list. It is not yet recognized by the government of India, and we hope that through this seminar, through this program, a light will be uh, lighted towards such freedom fighters who is unknown, unsung till today, and we Karbis are by our own fault or whom to blame, but we are still unnamed, unsung in the freedom struggle. So with this, though it's a very small research on my part, but I'm happy that I could dedicate something towards the nation, towards the society by finding a freedom fighter from the native of Northeast. So thank you, Cardon.
Thank you, ma'am, for your beautiful talk. We are grateful to remember and listen about the individuals who gave us the life that we have today. So moving forward, we wish to present some students before all of you so as to give a talk and to talk with the audience in regard of this auspicious occasion. Hence, at first, I wish to request Zongsar Baro to address the esteemed gathering.
Very good morning to all the dignitaries present here today. My name is Zinsar Boru, a PhD student from Food and Nutrition Department, College of Community Science. I'm very grateful to stand here and have the opportunity to talk about the contribution of uh, tribal freedom fighters in India's freedom struggle. Today, our distinguished guests have already spoken about all the freedom fighters of Assam. Here today, I will be sharing a short story of a Boro freedom fighter, uh, her contribution towards the India's freedom struggle, and it's a it's a book written by Indira Goswami. It's about a woman named Theng Fakri, the story of a Boro revolutionary woman. It is about the legendary but forgotten figure of Theng Fakri. Her personality is a fascinating one, for she is not only an empowered woman working abreast with British officers collecting taxes, but also of one of their transitions into a revolutionary fighter who joined the underground national struggle and participates in the liberation of her own people. She is a woman whose strength is unparalleled, a colonized woman trained in horse riding and shooting. This is documented in the story when she kills a man-eating tiger just when it is about to attack. Her strength is emblematically portrayed when she finds a bronze sword amidst the ruins of a Devi temple with which she goes out to participate in an anti-colonial struggle. But what is rebellious and interesting about her that gives her real voice and agency is the powerful and transformative nature of her silence. She doesn't speak much in the story. She is constructed as an introvert, and her actions mostly spoken for her. It is the idea of active and contemplative silence which gives her space to think and resist the colonial rule, and hence participate in the larger struggle for the independence. So it was the brief tale of a Boro woman who participated in India's freedom struggle. Uh, my countless salute goes to all the tribal freedom fighters who made a significant contribution in India's freedom struggle. Thank you.
Now, I'd like to request Trishna Tai to address the esteemed gathering with some kind and inspiring words.
Good morning to one and all present over here, respected Vice Chancellor sir, respected guest, and all the heads of the department, and everyone present in this gathering. Today, I am very thankful that something like this have came up to recognize our tribal community. Uh, I am here to speak about a few words about the tribal community residing in India. So, India is unique in that it has more than 700 tribal communities. Communities have enriched the country's cultural heritage through their exquisite art and craft. They have played a leading role in the promotion, protection, and conservation of the environment through their traditional practices with their vast repository of traditional knowledge. They have been the torchbearers of sustainable development, recognizing the importance of tribal and their role in nation building. The Constitution made special provisions for the protection of tribal culture and development of the scheduled tribes. The entire forest ecosystem, as we know, that the tribal peoples reside mainly near the forest or nearby the water bodies. That is, in Assam only, we can see that most of the tribal peoples, including the Missings, Karbis, like everyone, especially the Missings are living in the bank of the Brahmaputra, and the Karbis in the Mahsas, all they are from the hilly district, and uh, the British disrupted this get up of the like tribal communities and created jamindars uh, and gave them the rights over land in the tribal territories. This disruption reduced the tribals to mere tenants in their own lands. This exploitation fueled the resentment, which led to the violent eruptions in the tribal revolutionary movement. It was well before the freedom struggle of 1857 that the Janjatis and their leaders in revolt against the colonial forces across India, tribal ranging from the Santhals, Kol, Ho, Paharia, Munda, around Chero, Lepcha, Bhutia, and the Bhuya tribes in the east, the Khasi, Naga, Ahom, Memaria, Abor, Nishi, Jayantia, Garo, Mizo, Singpho, Kuki, Lusai in the northeast, the Padyagars, Kurichia, Benda, Gons, and Great Andamanis in the south, the Halwa, Kol, Muria, Koi in the central India, and the Dangbil, Mayer, Naika, and Koli, Mina, and Dubla in the west, kept up the sustained and ferocious attacks on the British. Uh, all these movements threw up inspirational leaders. Among among them are, as mentioned by our guest, they are like Tilka Maji, Tikendra Singh, Veer Surendra Sai, Telenga Kharia, and one of the most charismatic between among them was Birsa Munda. He belongs to that Munda community. In the present day, it is in Jharkhand. He organized and led the tribal movement, giving a call for Algulan, which means a revolt, to the tribals. The young Birsa also wanted to reform tribal society and urged it to shun superstition and witchcraft. Uh, he was known by or referred as Bhagwan in the tribal communities. Uh, Also, we cannot forget the contributions of the women freedom fighter in the movement of independence. There are some prominent or the very well-known freedom fighters of the tribal communities, particularly women. Those are like Gaidin Liu, mentioned by our guest, then Fulo, Jano, Murmu, Helen, Lepcha, and Putali Maya Tamang will live on our collective memory of the memory for generations to come. Then Independence Day for India bring back remembrance to sacrifices of freedom fighters who envisioned India as an independent free bird, free from the hands of all external forces, and stand united as one secular, socialist, and democratic republic. For independence, each and every region was fighting their own war. Many of the protests against the British were led by tribal heroes. Their fight was for their land and, most importantly, their people. India has witnessed their struggle turning into a revolution without the use of equipment like bombs and tanks. So, like there are only few heroes that I could speak about or our guests could mention about. There are thousands of untold stories about many tribal heroes to whom we should pay our tribute, and those should be included in our history. And with these words, I conclude my speech. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, esteemed guest and the students, for addressing such beautiful talk and information and enlightening the audience. Now, moving forward, I'm very glad to announce and present before you some soulful performances by the students of our university. So, at first, we have Rajesh Santi, who will be performing a musical performance. Rajesh Santi, you may come up on stage for your performance.
নমস্কাৰ, মোৰ নাম ৰাজেশ সিংটে, মোৰ ঘৰ ধেমাজি জিলাৰ জোনাই। মই বৰ্তমান এখন মহাবিদ্যালয়ত বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ত PhD কৰি আছোঁ। আজি এই শুভক্ষণত মই আপোনালোকৰ আগত মিচিং জনজাতিৰ এটা আধুনিক গীত গাবলৈ ওলাইছোঁ। আশা কৰোঁ আপোনালোকে ভাল পাব। kayo amiga si bilang kulu peke mana mana mamayo asli itu lang no da noi no kayang bidung ngokke kimapa siapa 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 apa kalimantan penomong kayo amiga si bilang kundu peke malimanang penomong mayo asinang itulang kundu peke ngoda noi no masinodum yumde rode pe noda noi no gayang bidung ngokke kimapa siapa 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 apa ayang rela panamang pagbo gepesi oino ayang bikuma mala dupasi ayang rela panamang pagbo gepesi oino ayang bikuma mala dupasi ai pemenamang mumang soman pesine oino mungkang kamang menyo pesine siapa 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 akada mayar melano mela dunama kamur kayar lidana kali sunama mamur mayar melano mela dunama kamur kayar lidana kali sunama tepu ten mandok kebo aipa manamaha sita simadok kebo aipa manamaha siapa 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 ngoda no masino yumbi roti pe ngoda no gayang bidum ngokke imma pe siapa 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 ধন্যবাদ
Thank you, Rajesh. Now moving forward. The Baburumba is a traditional dance of the indigenous Bodo people living in the state of Assam and northeastern part of India. So let us now enjoy watch a splendid performance from some of our gifted students. Now, I'm very glad to announce and present before you the esteemed gathering, a melodious performance by Abhinash Saikia.
অকণ এইবোৰ বনাই নি এইটো অকণমান ডাউন কৰি
So good afternoon, everyone present out here. My name is Avinash Saigya. I'm going to perform Bhupen Hazarika sir's Leader Support. Hope you like it. লুইতৰ চাপৰি কৰে নাৱৰীয়া বালিত ভাত ৰান্ধি খায় খাউদৰ ডিঙৰা বগা পালে তৰা উজনি দেশলৈ যায় লুইতৰ চাপৰি কৰে নাৱৰীয়া বালিত ভাত ৰান্ধি খায় হেৰো নাৱৰীয়া মেৰি দে ডিঙৰা কৰি দে খুকুলা পা হেৰো নাৱৰীয়া মেৰি দে ডিঙৰা কৰি দে খুকুলা পা পশ্চিমৰ দিশৰে পছুৱা আহিছে পশ্চিমৰ দিশৰে পছুৱা আহিছে বতাহ বলিছে লুইতৰ চাপৰি কৰে নাৱৰীয়া বালিত ভাত ৰান্ধি খায় পালতে লাগিব পশ্চিমৰ পছুৱা তুলবুল কৰিব না পালতে লাগিব পশ্চিমৰ পছুৱা তুলবুল কৰিব না ঢৌৰ চেৱে চেৱে নামে লগাই দিবি ঢৌৰ চেৱে চেৱে নামে লগাই দিবি হালিব জালিব লুইতৰ চাপৰি কৰে নাৱৰীয়া বালিত ভাত ৰান্ধি খায় খাউদৰ ডিঙৰা বগা পালে তৰা উজনি দেশলৈ যায় উজনি দেশলৈ যায় উজনি দেশলৈ যায় Thank you so much.
Thank you, students, for your beautiful performances. Now, moving forward, may I kindly request our esteemed guest, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Assam Agricultural University, Bidyut Chandandekar, sir, to address the esteemed gathering. Please, sir.
Namaskar. Good afternoon. Mr. Konthan, the Joint Secretary of National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. My young brother, the Joint Secretary of Koilan Ashram, Nityaranjan Dole. Our two very important research person, Dr. Bandita, and my classmate, Dr. Subal.
my good friend Kedarji, Manturamji, all our statutory officers, head of the department, faculties, students, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, today is a very, very important day for all of us because for the first time in the history of Assam Agricultural University, we are hosting a very, very important program just to give some kind of information not only to our students but also to our faculty about the unsung heroes, more particularly the tribal heroes who took part in the India's freedom movement. Friends, my predecessors who have already spoken a lot many things about the unsung heroes, so I don't like to repeat all those kind of things. But for our guests, particularly the Joint Secretary and our all other guests, I'd like to give a little bit of background of this particular university, more particularly what benefits normally we offer or we give to the tribal communities in this particular university. Sir, for your information, this university, since its establishment, we have the reservation for admission both in undergraduate and postgraduate program as per the rules of Government of Assam and Government of India. Of late, year before back, we have started earlier, we did not have any reservation for recruitment. But then we have already started even recruiting the faculties, giving the reservation given by the Constitution of India. Earlier, we did not have any such. The moment I joined here, I realized even though our faculties are, even the tribal faculties are very, very sound, and we have, the history of this particular university. My teachers, you just see my teachers. I am now 58 years old. Even we got the teachers from our tribal community. So this university has the history of recruiting the teachers from all across different community, including the tribal community. Even though during those times there were no reservation, but then of late we realized that since there were no reservation in this university, we have introduced, and I'm happy to let you know, in last 2-3 recruitment we have got very good faculty. Not only in the faculty, we have got very good faculty even in our research cadre, even in our extension cadre. So in that respect, our university is very, very fine so far, giving the opportunities to the tribal students and tribal people. Having said all those kind of things, we have also into the research for the development of the tribal people. Exclusively, we have a research station at Diffu, Regional Agriculture Research Station at Diffu. It was established way back in 1972, or precisely 1973. It is a almost 50 years old institution. We have been doing research for the benefit of the tribal people, more particularly hill tribes. We have another research stations which is located in another tribal area, that is Gosaigao, Regional Agriculture Research Station at Gosaigao. So these are the two most important research stations besides a number of Krishi Vigyan Kendra. Why I have made this mention of all those kind of research stations and Krishi Vigyan Kendra? Because these research stations and Krishi Vigyan Kendra, they have been doing research for the benefit of the tribal people, taking the clue of ITKs, Indigenous Technological Knowledge. Recently, last year, Assam Agricultural University, we took the initiative, and one of our tribal drinks called Judima, which was not known before to the world. Because of our initiative, of course, the credit goes to Subal and his entire team. They took the initiative, and this particular Dimasa drink is known all throughout the globe now. because it has got the GI. Similarly, another product we have been working and for which, of course, we have not approached for GI, but then we have outsourced that particular technology. But that particular technology, the genesis is a tribal culture. We call Haspani. The drinks based on the local liquor. Local liquor, normally the Ahoms, the Missing, the Boro community, and other tribals, Deuri, Sonwal, and other Kasaris. This is their indigenous drink. And we try to bring this particular drink into the mainstream. So these are the two important drinks that Assam Agricultural University has worked upon, and particularly Has. It has already been commercially marketed by one of our clients. One of our clients, he has taken the technology from us, he has already started marketing. So that indicates Assam Agricultural University, we have done and we have been doing some work to carry forward the unknown kind of material, whatever we had, amidst the tribal community. We tried to bring it out, did little bit of research, and we took it to the mainland or took it to the entire globe. Okay, you see, these are the material that we have developed at Assam Agricultural University. These are nothing but some kind of tribal culture. So that way we have been doing since its inception, since 1969, Assam Agricultural University has been doing some research related to agriculture and life. Since most of our students today, you people are here, even our young researchers, I have some kind of request to all of you. We are very, very happy that 2-3 students, they talked about the unsung heroes. But then still there are some unsung heroes, I know. Like Dr. Bandita has talked about the volunteer Teron. I visited that village in Deuter. Sanjeev is here. Sanjeev and myself, we visited that village way back in 2002. That our village in connection with our research for pineapple. So how patriotic these people are, but then these things are not being figured in our history. Why NCST has taken the lead? Why Kalyanashram has come forward? Because we realize there is a need to capture all those things which are not being written in our history. Nityaranjan Dole, he has rightly mentioned. When we talk about Indian independence movement, we know very few people. Very people, elite people. Jawaharlal Nehru. He born and brought up in an elite family. We know only the elite people. We really do not know who really did the sacrifice for the India's independence. We have totally forgotten many of them. So this is the time to recollect those particular stories. I still know there may be some story. So my request to the young students, because you are from different villages. Just now, two of my young students, Bagrumba, when they dance with, I feel emotional because I really born in the culture of Bodo, amidst the Bodo culture, because I am from Baskar district of Assam, so I know the Bodo culture, how rich it is. But then many of the cultures, because of the invasion, more particularly we people in the northeast, we always believe whatever coming from outside is good, whatever inside we have, these are not good. This has to be abandoned henceforth. Until and unless we realize, until and unless we do not realize the importance of our own culture, many of us, we have totally forgotten our own culture. Totally forgotten. Whenever we go to any marriage, you will not find our own culture depicting the marriage ceremony. All Western cultures. Why? Because we have forgotten to respect our own culture. So you, the young people, you have to take it forward, your culture, elsewhere. I know whenever our students they go outside the state or outside the region, outside the country, they remember their culture and they start popularizing their culture there. But whenever we are here, we don't try to respect our even own culture. So please don't do that. Try to depict your culture, try to preserve your culture. Whenever you go home next time, you try to collect which are not even reported. Try to collect small story, be it related to agriculture, be it related to horticulture, be it related to animal husbandry, be it related to sericulture, or any unsung hero. If you come out with some 20 story, give it to us. Assam Agriculture University, we are ready to publish it in a book form. We will publish it provided you bring all those unsung stories related to our freedom movement, related to our agriculture, horticulture, animal husbandry, which are not being depicted. Because those particular collections can be a future material for our research. I have already given you a clue. Nobody thought that a local drink can find a market in the supermarket. Can anybody thought it? Our scientists, we realized this particular drink can go to the global market. So we did little bit of research, and our scientists finally modified little bit. Some value has been added to that. Now it has come to the market. Same is the case with Judima. Judima is also is going to come into the international market very soon. So that's why there are many material. Say for example in Karbi Anglong, we have lot of indigenous leafy vegetables, lot of indigenous cultures. These things are not being captured. So that's why I am requesting my young students, and I will be requesting Robin as well as Kaman, these two young faculty. Kindly identify some students, because you are the best judge who can really help us in collecting those particular material. And my young students, don't hesitate, because I always say there are no nonsense questions, there are always nonsense answers. There are no nonsense questions, there are always nonsense answers. So whatever you feel this is not some kind good enough to be published, please don't think that way. When Madam Bandita searched about the volunteer, probably initially she also realized, she did not realize that she could really collect some very good material. Because of her effort, she could now dig out some important information for all of us. So that's a small things, maybe one page, maybe half page. Bring it to us, and we will give you guarantee that we will do further research. Who knows? Because of your 20 odd story can be developed into a 20 famous book 10 years from now. You never know. We never know what is there in the remote villages, what is there in the remote corners where electricity has also no trace. Kindly visit those areas, those people, interact with them, try to bring out, give us the material, we'll publish it in your name, and it will be university publications, provided we get some 15 to 20 story. Because less than 15 to 20 story, it cannot be a very good book. So this is my request, and let's consider it is a new beginning. Because today's workshop has become an eye-opener for all of us. Those of you who have not visited today's exhibition, you can look into it. There are many unknown things for all of us, which we do not know. We must know all those kind of things. And I would urge upon you, whenever you find any problem, you straightway lodge a complaint, either to our own, we have a redressal mechanism in the university. If you feel that university is not in a position to fulfill your grievances, then you immediately upload your grievances into the portal of NCST. We are very, very open. We are very, very open whenever you find any problem. Whenever somebody tease you in terms of your culture, in terms of your language, because it happens in the student's life. Because I am also the victim of that. Many of us, we are the victim of that. When somebody realizes, oh, he has come from a very remote corner, so we always used to sideline you. That happens. But you should be very, very robust. You should be very, very robust. Then only you can really survive in this particular planet. And there is an organization called NCST, there is an organization called Ashram. There are a lot many such organizations who will be at for your help. Please come forward. So I don't look take much of your time. This is already enough, more than 2 hours program. I mean, I know many of you, I mean, are feeling or started feeling bored because the program is, but then because of the some song in between, some refreshment we have got it in between. So with this, I once again would like to give a big compliment to NCST for coming forward here with a small request from my side, because when I met Harsaji, the chairman, 2 months back in New Delhi, and as well as the Kadir Kulkarni ji, and I said, you come to our university, we have lot many things to give it to you, or lot many things that you should also take from us. So that's how they have come to us, and I'm very, very happy that this is the first program of NCST and Ashram in the entire Northeast. We are very, very happy that for the first time we are hosting this particular program. Tomorrow you people will be leaving for Tripura for another program. Next time also you come, whenever you have anything to give us, or if you feel that we can also give it to you, something very, very concrete, we are always ready to give you. So with this, once again, I would like to give a big compliment to NCST, Ashram, and my team, our team, Robin Boro, Kaman, and his entire team. Because these 2 boys, they took a lot of pain in organizing this particular program. Very nice program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening speech. Ends are not bad things. They just mean that something else is about to begin. Keeping in view the same regard, we have approached the end of today's auspicious occasion. Hence now, I wish to request Amrita Tarangi Madam to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. It's a privilege to have asked to propose a vote of thanks on a workshop organized to mark the memory of the great unsung tribal heroes who have sacrificed their lives for the country. Without them, the commemoration of the 75 years of independence this year would not be complete. I, on behalf of Assam Agriculture University and the entire fraternity of management here, extend a very hearty gratitude to all the speakers for gracing your crucial work and sharing with us your opinion today. I am grateful to the Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir of Assam Agriculture University, Dr. Bidyu Chandra Deka Sir, for his guidance and support for the constant improvement and helping in organizing the program.